91.5 WBIM presents Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack with Robb Hicks. Whoever you're with, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, don't stop. Just turn us up. Coming to you live from the Adrian Rondelou Campus Center. We are your destination for commercial-free classic rock to power your nights. Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, Pearl Jam, Eric Clapton, AC/DC, Zeppelin, Foo Fighters, Aerosmith, The Clash, Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, Rolling Stones, Soundgarden, Van Halen, and hundreds more. 5 decades, thousands of songs, and one show to rule them all.
All kinds of cool bands.
You guys rock. We are all request at 508-531-1303.
I can hear what I want when I want.
Every song just rocks.
So go get some food in the belly, gas in the tank, and prepare to make your Saturday night something classic. The Saturday Night Soundtrack with Robb Hicks begins now on Bridgewater's own 91.5 WBIM.
It's 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater Saturday Night Soundtrack. Welcome. We're here. We're back. We're ready for another 6 hours of classic rock, or 5 hours and 51 minutes, or 50 minutes, or whatever it is by now. Steve Rimmer's with me. Hello.
Hello there.
Are those headphones not to your liking?
I don't know. There's something wrong with the right-hand side.
The good thing is it's like a Goldilocks deal in there. You've got 3 pairs to choose from. Yeah, go with those. Call us up 508-531-1303. As I mentioned, we're going to be doing classic rock until 11 o'clock. Plenty of time to get your requests on. Jarrod Barbetta cannot be with us this week because he sadly seems to think that some things are more important. I don't know what that guy's problem is, but you know what I'm saying? But hey, you know, we do what we can, and Steve's with me to help carry the load,
yes,
as it were.
We'll try.
Yeah, we'll do our all we can promise is our best. That's all we can say. We didn't have to come in here in snow.
That was the first time.
Didn't have to walk in snow.
No snow.
Not only was there no snow, it wasn't rainy. It was pleasant. It was light out.
Sun shining.
I noticed a couple of times when I was walking out, last week when I would walk out, you know, just to go to the transmitter room or to come back, I'd walk by that window that's out in the hall, and it would be daylight, and it would be around 6 or 6:30 or even 7 o'clock, and I was still seeing some daylight, and don't mind saying that it blew my mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched my brother-in-law put the snowblower away today and pull out the lawnmower.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Yep, we need to see that.
Did you feel like maybe he was jinxing everything?
Hey, you want to listen? People buy pooper scoopers at this time of year. Way more than usual.
Well, that's good.
Because once the snow goes away, they can see all the little gems that they have to pick up.
The little gems. Having indoor dogs, we don't have the gems outside. We have them inside.
There you go.
Except for today when I was doing the trash and ended up dropping some poop on the porch. And I didn't realize it until I got out to the truck and threw the bag in there and came back, and I'm looking. I just go to walk on my porch, and I'm like, why is there poop? What's happening?
Yep.
What's going on? You can like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack, and you can also follow us on Twitter, at SN Soundtrack. We've gotten 2 new followers this week.
What?
What?
Yeah. What? Excuse me?
Okay, well, as I always have to do with Jarrod, I have to preface this by warning you to temper your expectations, sir.
Okay.
One of the new followers is my boss's boss at work.
Okay.
And he doesn't actually even listen to the replays of the show. We're just friends, so he does it to like support what I do.
I must admit, I do like
basically
the fact that you put the track listing up there now.
The track, I love doing the track listing. I do that through, there's a site called Instant, not to give away all our tricks here. There's a site called instantfm.com, and it's free to set up, any kind of account that you want. You just set it up with your email, and you can export playlists from iTunes directly to that site just to make it look like an organized playlist. So that's why some of the things, like, you know, if you bring stuff in from, if you bring stuff in on vinyl, Mikey D brings stuff in on vinyl, you don't see that pop up on the playlist, only because in order for that to happen, I would have to have it in my own iTunes and be able to export it. So that's why sometimes that stuff doesn't show up. But anything that I have in iTunes that we play as sort of the, you know, the core tracks on the show those are going to show up there, and that's fun to do. So, yeah, one of the followers is my boss's boss from work. Again, temper your expectations. The other one, I got a little excited. I got a notification late last night that said Carlos Santana is now following you. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Because in researching this further, I found out that not only is it not actually the Carlos Santana iconic classic rock legend, it's just some dopey baseball player for the Cleveland Indians.
Oh, crap.
The
guy, he's been writing to Carlos Santana. He wants to meet him because they share the same name. He wants to meet Carlos Santana and get together.
Maybe he thinks we know Carlos Santana.
Maybe.
And I think the icing on the cake, the most disheartening thing was that it wasn't even like, hey, this is Carlos Santana's webpage, like the baseball player, because you think, okay, that kind of sucks that it's not the actual classic rock guy. But look, if a major league player is following us, that's still kind of cool. No. It's just the publicity people. It says right in the profile, like, this is the page for late-breaking news on and stories about Carlos Santana. Why do I care?
Yes.
I'm in Massachusetts. Did people pay any attention to this?
Yep. Red Sox.
It's it's not really not to poop all over our followers. Come to think of it, but they're not real followers.
No.
I want real followers. People who actually care about the show and listen to the program. Those are the people that I want to. But hopefully, time will come. We will get them.
Yes.
That's what we're after.
Eventually.
Yeah. We can only hope.
Now, are the kids on campus today, or are they all off on the break?
I'm going to guess that some of them are.
Okay.
Like I mentioned to you off the air, I had actually called just to make sure that this building was actually going to be open before we planned to come over here and do our usual gig.
The parking lots weren't quite as full.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that a whole lot of people probably did, go home in the interim, but officially the campus is still open. There was no, they didn't have a lack of classes yesterday for Good Friday, so technically speaking, it's still business as usual, but I'm sure unofficially a lot of people probably just went home and said, F this place for the weekend.
For the weekend.
So who knows what calls we're going to get.
Oh.
We'll find out.
We will.
Big Classic Rock Block coming up. Call us up, 508-531-1303. David Bowie up next.
Call in your classic rock request now at 508-531-1303. If you don't, Robb Hicks will play a half an hour of Bruce Hornsby.
That's just the way it is.
This is your chance to save the town of Bridgewater. 91.5 WBIM.
Aldo Nova. It's on 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday night soundtrack, wrapping up a classic rock block. For that, heard 38 Special in there, Pink Floyd, David Bowie, and Robb Hicks and Steve Rimmer. Well, you didn't hear us in that block, but we're here, and we're presenting the classic rock to you at 5:35.
I like this mic better than the one I normally use.
I think you should just take it.
I think it's louder. I think that's why Jarrod manages to break into everything.
No, I don't necessarily think Jarrod needs a louder mic to break into everything.
No, that's true.
I noticed, actually, when I just went to mention the time, that the time is right now.
Have they fixed it?
Yeah, it's been fixed.
Nice.
And like I was saying last week, I was tempted when we were originally discussing it to fix it myself, because I thought to myself, well, how hard can it be? I change clocks around my house every time we lose power, which in Kingston, Massachusetts, is when it gets windy.
Yes.
So I do that relatively frequently. How difficult could this be? I went and looked up this board online just to see, what the manual looked like, and because I'm a nerd and I like to look up stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it, and it's like the first thing I noticed about the instructions to reset the clock. The instructions began with, I believe the phrase was, crack open the... And I was like, nope. nope. We're gonna end this right now.
Yes.
This is not going to happen.
I remember using YouTube once to fix my washing machine, but it was in the days before I had smartphones. So I'd have to pull up the YouTube on the computer upstairs, watch a step, pause it, and then run downstairs, do the step, run back up again, play it again. Because now everything's so beautiful with these handheld devices.
Well, some of ours are bigger than others.
Yes.
Take that as you will.
Exactly.
508-531-1303. Follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack. You can like us on Facebook also, Saturday Night Soundtrack. We don't have any new likes on Facebook.
Yeah.
We have our 2 new followers on Twitter, which I've already summarized earlier.
Yes.
It's not, but you know what? The good thing is, it's a follower is a follower, and that brought us up to 10. So we're back to 10.
Okay, we're back to 10. That's
back
good.
to 10 on Twitter. And, if real fans who listen to the show actually want to, like us on Facebook. That would be a help.
That would be
helpful. You and I were talking off the air before the show started about April. April Fools just went by.
Yes.
April 1st.
I didn't play any pranks on anybody.
No, you get to the point, you know what I mean? And this is part of what I was going to mention, too. I think you get to an age where it's just sort of like, what am I going to do?
I know. I looked online.
Am I that immature?
Exactly.
I looked online.
I found a bunch of pranks you could play on people, but nah.
No, wasn't doing it for you?
Nope.
No.
Now, in England, if you play a prank on somebody after 12 noon, the prank is apparently back-versed onto you.
I don't understand
You're only
how
supposed
that works.
to play pranks from the beginning of April 1st.
For April, okay, so you're talking
12 noon.
This isn't like a standing rule for pranks.
Well, no,
in
just for
England.
April 1st.
April Fool, okay.
Yeah. You're the fool if you do it after that, apparently.
I see.
So.
But you still fooled the other person, so is it really back on
Exactly.
you?
It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Like, that seems like the equivalent of just saying, I'm rubber, you're glue, and then being like, oh, touche, well played.
Yep, no.
But I was looking online, and we were talking about all the things. There's always a comprehensive list of just online stuff that comes out, jokes that just were perpetuated on actual sites.
Mm-hmm.
They try to make them look like they're real stories. You told me one that was
that Clinton.
that NPR had floated out there.
Yep. Yeah, Hillary Clinton apparently had put him through a divorce from William in an attempt to aid her bid for the White House.
Which it probably would.
It probably would. It definitely would. In fact, there were actually TED Talk on the way in today was talking about lying. And, of course, they pulled up that classic piece by Clinton about Marilyn Lewinsky, about, I did not have sex with that woman.
Yeah.
And that's a classic lie, apparently, when you say that woman instead of normal talk.
Right.
Normal
I mean, plus the fact that, like, if anything, that makes the lie even worse because it's not even like you lied by being vague. You were pretty specific.
Oh, yeah.
I think you need to learn about what lying is actually all about.
Mm-hmm.
When you're going to lie, you want to make it more vague. It's sort of like Benjamin Netanyahu, who just basically went on. Have you seen this on the news? Where he previously had said that he didn't want a two-state, two-state system, and then was pretty emphatic about that. And apparently, in talks and interviews within the past few weeks or within the past month or whatever it was, someone asked him, and he said, I wouldn't be opposed to a two-state system. Like, what?
He'll say
I don't
anything.
understand. You just said. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know why we back this guy. I really don't.
I don't know. But as far as April Fool's pranks or things online that were not April Fool's pranks, you and I both saw one that I think we both thought for a second might have been, but or at least I thought I did. Amazon has got a new product out there called Amazon Dash. And apparently what it is. Now, is this only available to Prime customers?
At the moment, I believe it is only available to Prime customers.
Okay,
yeah.
That was how I read it, too. Yeah. And I guess what it is it's like, I don't know, I didn't read because I thought it was a joke, so I was like, that's funny. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really read what it was. Are they like just little buttons around your house?
They're actually little tiny buttons. They're probably less than an inch in length, and they have a button on them, and then they have the logo of whatever product it is. So it might be Maxwell House coffee, it could be Tide laundry detergent.
Right, Tide was the one they were using in the
and you
thumbnail
actually,
picture.
You stick the button onto your laundry machine, I guess, and when you realize that you're running out of product, you hit the button and it automatically orders it for you and sends it to your house. But what if you have kids?
Right.
Boom, 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 all of a sudden you've got...
I didn't actually think about that.
$1,200 worth of products arriving at your house.
There's got to be some sort of safety measure. Like
no, that's it. You push the button. They're making it that simple, but that's also that simple that somebody else could do it by mistake. Or
Mommy, look!
Boom, 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 boom.
5 cases show up the next
15
day.
pounds of Maxwell House coffee.
Toothpaste. What are you doing? What's going on?
God. I don't know.
531-1303. Call us up. Make requests. Mikey D should be stopping in a little bit, and Steve and I have to get him to take a picture of us because we coordinated very well today.
With the pen as well.
Yes, with the pen.
Exactly.
I think the pen should be in the picture also.
Yep.
If you people don't know what we're talking about, you'll find out because I'll post the photos on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And, if you follow us on Twitter, you can see these neat things.
Exactly.
That, we show you little behind-the-scenes trinkets and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And if you don't follow us on Twitter, well, F you, I don't know. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Big Classic Rock Block coming up. Steely Dan on the way next, BIM.
So, you just spent hours putting together the perfect classic rock playlist?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's so cute. This Saturday night soundtrack with Robb Hicks on 91.5 WBIM.
It's the Stones 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater Saturday night soundtrack. The song's called Heartbreaker, and if you want to get real specific about it, it's called Do 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 Do. Heartbreaker.
Nice.
That's off the Goat's Head Soup album. Heard Focus by Hocus Pocus.
You got it right. Well done, sir. Well done.
I was very careful. I practiced that one a lot.
Yeah.
I practiced it a lot in my head. And Stevie Ray Vaughan and Steely Dan before that in that classic rock block at 6:05. And this is Saturday Night Soundtrack. We're doing classic rock until 11 o'clock. Call us up, 508-531-1303. We are missing Mr. Barbetta tonight, but he'll be back.
Sorry.
Wow. We're missing him in that he's just not here. In other words, he's missing from the show. But
yes.
he'll be back next week.
He will be.
Yeah. But we're going to hold down the fort. I think we've done an hour and 5 minutes so far, and I think we've done pretty good for ourselves.
Title.
Yeah.
No, that's the title of the Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Oh.
I just found it, yeah.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this, because I'm still intrigued as to why they think this is a good idea.
I don't know. It's like a new downloading site. It's trying to rival iTunes and Spotify, but it's twice the monthly fee that you would pay for iTunes or Spotify. And it's going to be limited to the artists that register for it, I guess. It's Madonna, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Beyonce.
And the hook is supposed to be that it sounds better. Is that
They say
what
it sounds better, and they're going to put some exclusives on it that you won't be able to get anywhere else. But so far, the exclusives have been pretty dismal from what I've heard. Like you can get the new release by Beyonce, Die With You on it, etc.
That sounds fantastic. We're not going to be playing that on the Saturday Night Soundtrack.
No, I'm not interested.
And see, we were talking about this off the air too, and I don't know. I'm one of those people. You can call me a lemming, you can call me whatever you want to call me, but I am all about Apple. I'm all about the iPhone, and I'm all about iTunes. And as a music guy, as a DJ, and just a music enthusiast, before I even lucked into being able to start doing this show again, because we didn't have iPod. In my day, we didn't have iPods when I was coming up here and doing the show back in college. I had to truck books of CDs with me, and they were always,
We had 78s in my day.
Yeah. And if you didn't have greatest hits, then you had a bunch of CDs that were kind of useless because you had one or two songs on them you may play, and everything else was stuff you weren't going to play. But as a music person, putting together a library and getting a show together and everything, I find iTunes to be the easiest thing to use. It's the most versatile. It's the thing I can access from the most places on the most devices. And I don't know. It's just I get that some people are used to using other programs or whatever, and that's great for you if that works. It just, nothing other than iTunes has ever worked as well for me.
No.
So, yeah. So I don't know. If you want to get their program, Tidal, get it. I don't see why you would, but go for it if that's your.
Now this is nice. You mentioned this on the way in earlier about the original Skinner drummer dying.
Yes.
They've actually got it on my Smart News site.
Oh, okay.
Kind of nice to see. Robert Burns Jr.
Yeah. I was going to bring that up too when we talk to Mikey D when he comes back, because Mikey D's a huge Southern rock Leonard Skinner guy.
Yeah, he is.
Gonna ask him. We'll talk about more details with him. We'll find out if he. I don't even know if he knows. I mean, it just broke on the news that I was looking at when I was on my way over here.
No.
And again, if anybody doesn't know, real quick, Bob Burns, the original drummer for Leonard Skinner, apparently just passed away last night, age of 64. He was in a car accident. Apparently, he crashed into a mailbox or a tree or some combination of the two.
And
yeah, there it was.
Ooh.
You okay?
I just got used
to it.
Are you all right? Apparently, the last album that guitarist Frank Zappa worked on prior to his death in 1993 will finally be released this June.
There you go.
And it's called Dance Me This. Oh, that's going to be nice. It's his 100th album, or would have been.
Steve's night has just been made.
Oh, totally.
You know when my night, ironically, was not made?
No, what was then? There you go.
A week ago.
I know.
Let's talk about this real quick. So we're not going to have any interruptions this week.
No, we're not. Nobody's going to be saying garbage in the corner.
The show's stupid.
Yeah.
Or making sounds like.
Yeah.
So the season finale of The Walking Dead was last week. It was a 90-minute finale, and there was a lot of talk going into it. There was a lot of touting as far as character deaths and whatnot, and something big that was going to happen. I believe Norman Reedus himself, who plays Daryl, was the one who said, fans should get ready to be angry and screaming at the TV and get your tissues out. And I don't want to give any spoilers out for anybody who maybe
people must have watched it
behind
by now.
on the DVD. Okay, you know what? Nobody cares.
No.
So I'm going to give spoilers out anyway.
Absolutely.
So Reg, who is the husband of the woman who's running Alexandria, Reg is the one who ended up dying last week.
And What, he was in, 3 or 4 episodes?
Right. Why do I care? I kind of, in all honesty, I kind of felt the same way when Noah died.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was all distraught. Glenn was, like, having PTSD, and I was like, it's a friggin' problem. You've known the guy for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
I don't really get what the big deal is.
The best part about last week, I believe, is Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
That open section was incredible.
Yeah.
And they're setting up the Wolf Pack for next season.
Right.
Which is going to be the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that setup and everything was good, but I mean, in all honesty, as far as what they were touting for a season finale, I believe I sent you a message shortly after the show was over, and I believe it said Reg, her husband, lame in all caps.
Yeah.
I was so irritated that was the end of that show.
I watched it on the night that they aired it for the first time, which I don't normally do because it's late for me, being up at 5 every morning.
I watched it that night too, yeah.
But I had to watch it again the next day to just remind myself, was that truly what happened?
Right.
Or didn't happen?
Because it didn't really make, I don't know, it didn't really make a lot of sense.
No.
It didn't seem to me like it was what they, it almost seemed like they went with a different idea at some point, at the last minute.
You know what I did like?
What's that?
I was watching the bit where Rick wakes up after being... And why did he put so many bandages on his head? Or Band-Aids?
He needs a whole bunch, Yeah. He's got a bunch of boo-boos. He needs a bunch of Band-Aids.
On my tablet at the time, I was watching the Sync version of The Walking Dead Sync.
Okay, yeah.
And they actually showed some panels from the graphic novel, and that was pretty...
It was, yeah. That was spot on.
That was spot on.
I have the... I'm a fan of one of the Walking Dead meme sites where they just they just put up a bunch of pictures of fans of the show running it, and they just put up a bunch of pictures and everything. And they did, I think that a day or two after that episode, they put up just a picture of one of the panels from the comic, and it was basically like, well, at least this was accurate.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I was a little let down, I gotta say.
I know, but we got Fear the Walking Dead to look forward to in the summertime now.
Yes, I'm actually more excited about that than the real show coming back, because I mean, obviously I'm going to be excited when the real show comes back, but I want to see the origins of this thing. I want to see how they say that it all started.
And they did mention something this week on media that although they said initially there would be no crossover, they did mention that there is a possibility that there could be a crossover at some point.
Yeah, I saw that too, because they were talking about the fact that even though Fear the Walking Dead is going to start, obviously, right at the beginning of the whole thing, they're going to, I guess the whole idea is that they're going to then kind of pick up the pace relatively quick.
Yes.
And it's going to kind of catch up and sort of run parallel with the current show. They'd be dumb not to do a crossover.
Oh, absolutely.
If they have the opportunity.
No, that's too tempting to.
You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, with a show like Better Call Saul, they obviously can't do a crossover because the first show's over.
Yep.
But if the two shows are already running and they're basically your biggest shows today, AMC doesn't really have anything else in their bag at this point.
No.
They've got Better Call Saul. Mad Men's going off the air, which was I haven't seen one episode of that show, but that was a big ratings grabber for them for years. And now they've got the two Walking Dead shows. So basically, the Breaking Bad franchise and the Walking Dead franchise are what's carrying them as far as show ratings are concerned.
Yes.
So there's no reason not to. They should obviously mix those two together.
No, absolutely.
An inevitable conclusion that they're going to do so.
Yes.
So 508-531-1303. Give us your calls for requests. Let us know what you want to hear. Tell us what's going on. Let us know your Easter plan. Are you painting eggs tonight? Maybe you need...
I'm cooking lamb tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nice.
I've been looking forward to this day for a long time.
Nice. Yes. Do you do good lamb?
Well, you know what? I don't get the opportunity. This is the weirdest thing. Lamb is probably one of the cheaper meats in Europe because there's frigging sheep all over the damn place. But it's bloody expensive over here, so I do not do it that often. But one day, many moons ago, Stop and Shop had a deal, and they had lamb roasts for like $13 a shot. So I've had one in the freezer for a while now. So nice. Tomorrow's the day.
There you go.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up.
Oh, I won't.
Another big classic rock block on the way. Bob Seger next, BIM.
From CTC to CC Talk, we've got the biggest collection of classic rock in Bridgewater. You're listening to the Saturday Night Soundtrack with Robb Hicks on 91.5 WBIM.
Van Halen on 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater Saturday Night Soundtrack. Before that, we heard from Bad Company, Fleetwood Mac, Green Day. Bob Seger kicked off that last block. Robb Hicks, Jarrod. No, Jarrod's not here. Robb Hicks, Steve Rimmer, and it's 6:34. And Van Halen, I was talking about this just a few minutes ago. So they got a new tour they're embarking on. They're doing it in support of the album. It's kind of ironic because they're going on a live tour to support a live album that just came out that is already kind of getting some mixed reviews. They just put out the Live at the Tokyo Dome album. That was from concerts that they did back in 2013 on a Tokyo tour. Obviously, David Lee Roth with them. He's doing the tour with them, and they're going to start doing the tour. They've started doing some television appearances. The official tour kicks off, the tour is getting going now. Tickets just went on sale they're going to be at the Xfinity Center, I believe, August 1st. LiveNation.com just started selling the tickets today, as a matter of fact. And they started off their whole tour, I guess, on Jimmy Kimmel, doing a live performance there within this past week. And they shut down the whole street, and it was a whole big event. And it was the first time Van Halen had ever actually done an official television appearance like that. And within a minute of taking the stage, David Lee Roth apparently busted his nose open with someone's guitar or bass bottom or some such thing.
I'm going to have to Google that because I want to see it.
In his histrionics. And the show continued on. Apparently he got 14 stitches in his nose as a result of that. And then
that's a big nose.
What I find funny, and this is hilarious, is that then he goes on. They go on Ellen a few days later, right? And they're on Ellen, and they're doing the show. They do a live show there, no injuries. They finish doing the live show, and she comes on. They come on, they do the interviews and everything. She starts talking to them, and he says, I can't think of any place that I'd rather kick off the tour for us if we're going to do a live TV show than the Ellen audience. Okay, because you just did Jimmy Kimmel a couple of nights ago. You might want to remember that. And plus the fact, then he goes on. So he doesn't just say that and leave it and then just keep moving. He continues to dig the hole for himself by saying, like, your audience is great. This is like, your audience is like our Ed Sullivan or. He just keeps going on and on with all this hyperbole. And it's like, Dave, stop. Yep, just stop.
Now, did he hit his head at the same time as he hit his nose? Probably.
No. But everyone's looking at them going out on this tour. And it's like I was saying to you off the air, I love Van Halen. And I love David Lee Roth with Van Halen. I never liked Sammy Hagar nearly as much. And I just get the feeling that, I don't know if they're going to get completely burned out on this tour, or what the deal's going to be. Like, you look at
how big a tour is it?
I mean, as far as I don't think it's like worldwide, but I mean, they're definitely going. I think it's countrywide. I'll have to look it up to get more specifics as far as how far they're going. But my understanding is that they're going coast to coast, and everyone's looking at it and they're like, Wolfgang's kind of fat. And David Lee Roth's kind of old, and so are the rest of them, by the way. And they're like, ironically, Eddie Van Halen, with all those health concerns within the past, decade or two, actually looks really good compared to the rest of them.
Exactly. Well, look what you're measuring it against.
I get that. I get that what you're trying to compare against is probably just as important, but at the same time, they're doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good compared to them. But
now, how come the Stones can pull it off at a much older age, I would imagine?
I have no idea. And they're actually, it's a funny thing that you mentioned that, because I was going to mention, too, the fact that Van Halen's not the only band that's got some new tours going on, Rolling Stones. They're going to be doing a big tour this year as well.
Yep.
Tour dates for this year are just piling up. I don't know, there's something about 2015. The classic rock bands just want to get on it.
No, you know what he always attributes his classic sound to, don't you?
What's that?
He bit the tip of his tongue off when he was a kid.
Nice.
Yes. That's why he sounds like Jagger.
Well, that's great.
And that's why you can keep going.
Yes. Don't put that back on. I need that.
Yes.
I need that off, please.
Leave it off.
They're going to be doing a Sticky Fingers remaster too. I don't know what's going to be involved in it as far as, because I mean, nowadays it's like, oh, you remaster something, it's like they remaster them all the time. What's the big deal? But obviously, I'm sure they're going to be putting together a pretty big package for that. And they're going, the tour is not going to just support that, but it's going to help. And they just, they're just jumping on the pile of artists that are already doing.
Physically, that was the world's worst album to have in your collection. Physically. Because the damn zipper tore the crap out of the next album that you had next to
it. Luckily, nowadays, I don't have to worry about that.
No.
But yes, I can see where that could be a problem. It's weird because like you said, with the older artists, like, I want to see the Rolling Stones, continue doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Van Halen continue what they're doing, but I don't want to see them hurt themselves and embarrass themselves.
Nope.
It's, I mean, like, if you're falling off the stage or if you're busting your face open, and then you can't remember that you just did a live TV show 2 days ago, that might be a sign of kind of a problem.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of the Alzheimer's commercials that they show with the wife that leaves her keys in the fridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Bowie.
Yeah.
Bowie this week announced that he's got a new project in the works. He's taking to the stage. Do you remember the movie The Man Who Fell to Earth?
Yes. He's doing a play, right?
He's doing a play version of it.
I did read that.
Which I didn't mind the movie. I didn't think it did justice to the book. I think it got a bit contrived. But if Bowie's doing the play version, I think it could be quite a good one.
Now, the question is that something that you would... So would you check that out?
I don't know. I mean, if they filmed it, I'd watch it. I don't think I'd travel to New York to watch it.
Or if let's say it was even around here, like hypothetically, let's say if it was within your reach.
No, seriously, if it came to Boston, I'd want to go and see it. But
Okay.
it depends on who's going to be playing in it. I don't believe Bowie's going to actually play in the play. I think he's just adapting the movie for the stage.
So he's like doing more like, it's kind of like a behind-the-scenes sort of deal.
Exactly. But when he did The Elephant Man many years ago, he got incredible acclaim for doing that because he did it without any form of makeup.
Yeah, you know what? And it's funny because I read about that and I actually didn't realize that he had done, so much like stage-related stuff.
He studied mime at a very early age.
Okay.
That's what he used a lot of his stagecraft from. He studied with a real big guy out of York called Lindsay Kemp.
Okay.
And he actually had a mime group before he started his musical career. So
yeah, when he started, because I found out about that when I started reading about the play, because I saw the headline about the Man Who Fell to Earth, and I was like, well, what's he doing? So I read the article, and then they were kind of talking about some of his background, too. And I was like, oh, I didn't ever realize that all that went on.
Yep. Isn't that, to my mind, made a truly successful movie, though, when I think about it?
Well, I mean, you're spreading yourself thin at that point.
Yeah.
How many things can you really be good at?
Yeah. What else did he do? He did a play on British TV about Bertrand Breck, which was quite a good one. I did see that.
Nice.
Yes.
He's all over the place.
Yes, he is.
He's just multifaceted.
He's a Renaissance man.
Where's our phone calls?
I don't know. We haven't had a single one today.
What's going on? This is not making me feel
Nate
good.
or Greg.
Although we did Greg.
Yeah.
We found out from...
Exactly.
Apparently, Greg's making the rounds.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to know. But we found out that last week that they're playing us in the dining hall, or at least I assume they're still doing that this week.
If there's anybody there tonight.
Right. It sounded like it was a regular occurrence. But
Nice.
like you said, with a weekend like this where tomorrow's the holiday, don't really know how that goes.
No.
Guess we'll see.
We will.
Another big block of classic rock coming up. Going to kick it off with Local Boys next, BIM.
Next is on 91.5 WBIM, Bridgewater's weekend all-request classic rock experience.
Scorpions on 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater, Saturday night soundtrack. Before that, we heard from Gene Simmons. That contribution was off vinyl from Steve.
Yes.
He brought in now that was a 45. I haven't played a 45 and I've never played a 45, I don't think, on...
You may have to explain what that is,
WBIM. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna. I refuse. And song was called Radioactive by Gene Simmons. It should not be confused with the current Imagine Dragons song called Radioactive, which is not classic rock. And it also should not be confused with the song by Jimmy Page's band The Firm.
With Paul Rogers on lead vocals.
Yeah, which is also called Radioactive. Not the same song. So, before that, we heard from some local boys. U2, Aerosmith kicked it off. And that last song that we played for the Scorpions was for Jarrod Barbetta, who wanted to hear that, or at least wanted us to play it because he's not going to be able to hear it. But he just, wanted to get his voice heard.
Yes.
Wanted to get a request on. So, in case you guys couldn't tell, Mikey D is here with us. Hello.
Hello again.
How are you?
Fellow Earthlings and Campus and Crazies.
Earthlings. How's your week been going, Mike?
Steady. Very steady. As usual, I'm at the campus center, so
Well, yeah.
legs are constantly moving.
Well, that's good.
And my mouth is always going.
So everything is normal. I was waiting. I was actually going to wait. I had been waiting to talk to you about this because some news came in just today that Bob Burns, the original drummer for Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Remember him well.
Yeah, he passed away.
Oh.
Last night.
From what?
Car accident.
Oh, my God, he got killed.
Yeah, he was 60. He was 64. Apparently, he ran into a tree or a mailbox or some combination of the two, and shortly before midnight, and yeah, he was gone. Bob Burns was the original drummer. In the first lineup for Lynyrd Skynyrd, he played on the first two albums, pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd and Second Helping. He left the band in 1974. He was
And Nothing Fancy was the third one.
that was the
That's
third
where
one.
the
They had
Artie Pyle
Artie Pyle came in. He started with them at that point, and Artie Pyle also was the drummer who famously survived the 1977 plane crash.
Yeah.
He's one of the two, I believe, right? Original Lynyrd Skynyrd band members who are, or when I say original,
But he's not with the band now.
I mean from the 70s, but he's still alive, is my point.
Oh, yeah, he's still going.
He's still going. It's him and Gary Rossington.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Just
Jerry
those two.
Risington is still with the band.
Right. And, yeah, I mean, Bob Burns was, you talk about records to play on. I mean, those original, the pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd, you had Freebird on there. Can't argue with that. Second Helping had so many great songs. And he,
Second Helping was incredible.
Yeah, it was an incredible album. Bob Burns was on that one. And, I mean, he was a 20-something-year-old kid at that time. And I guess he just got, apparently just got burned out from playing with them on the road.
Yeah, that's what he
in
said.
'74. And I mean, little did he know how fortuitous that decision was going to be. But he just decided to back out at that point, and then Artie Pyle came in, and the rest was history. So Bob Burns.
Did he go on to do anything else?
Original drummer? No, he didn't really.
Artemis Pyle did.
Yeah, Artemis Pyle he's been around forever, and he
He's
was
known to have a band or two called APB, the Artemis Pyle Band.
okay. And then I think in 2006 he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't know if it was him himself or with the band or what the deal was, but I know he's been around.
I'm sure.
He's been around for a while, and he's been active for a while.
Bobby Burns was with them too at that moment they got inducted.
Okay.
They made sure he came by.
Yeah, that was good. That was good because I mean, you think about those. I mean, those original albums were quintessential albums in their in their catalog. I mean, you get the debut, which was as strong as a debut can get. And like you said, Second Helping was as an album.
One of my all-time favorites.
As an album as a whole, that was better than Pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd because of just the sheer number of hits that came off of that thing.
Call Me the Breeze.
Call Me the Breeze, Needle in the Spoon.
Oh, classic.
Great song. And just
Sweet Home.
I mean, just sad to read because you like
64 too. That's old.
Steve and I were just talking about this off the air.
I didn't know nothing about it until you just mentioned it.
I mean, we were talking about all these artists, and we're like, these artists are older now and things like that. And it's like, it's one thing to just get older and just pass on. It's another thing just to have a car accident.
Guitarist from Skynyrd, Alan Collins.
Yes.
He survived the crash. Then Risington Collins band after that.
Correct.
And then many years ago, he got in a car crash that his child's mother or something like that. Something happened. And he got laid up. I don't know if he got laid up from that or something else. But then he was crippled in a wheelchair for some time, got pneumonia, and passed on because of that. So, yeah, so they just
not good.
had
not a good combination.
some members dying here and there of
Yeah.
natural causes or whatever. So,
And I was just looking up Second Helping. I knew there were other songs that weren't coming to my head. Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah.
The song that I feel is just kind of a little bit overplayed just because you hear it all the time, but still a classic no matter what.
Rock anthem.
Don't Ask Me No Questions. And they had the Ballad of Curtis Lowe on that one, too. I love that
well,
song.
we're going to have to play that sometime.
Yeah, those are all great songs. That album was just stupendous. So, and Pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd, like I said, that had Freebird on it, but then you also had Simple
Poison
Man.
Whiskey?
I believe so, yeah. You had, hold on, let me check. Yep, Poison Whiskey. You also had Gimme 3 Steps, Tuesday's Gone.
Oh, wow.
Simple Man, like I mentioned. Just an incredible, two incredible albums to kick off a band's career. Mm-hmm. You can't really ask for much more than that.
No.
So anyway, yeah.
Great
so,
albums after that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that we've bummed you out,
Yeah.
Well, here's some good.
anything good going on?
Here's some good news. I'm just googling Joni Mitchell. Apparently, she's getting stronger every day, so she should be out of hospital soon.
What was it she?
They found her unconscious in her Los Angeles home on Tuesday, and they don't know why yet. But
Big Yellow Taxi.
Yeah. I always liked the Blue album. Actually, that was my favorite.
Good album.
Very good.
I still remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around, I take it, huh?
Jaco Pastorius playing bass. Oh, classic. What did he die of? He died young too.
Oh, very.
Very young.
Okay, Hicks, what are you digging up now?
Oh, I was just going through my notes and making sure.
What are you doing in there? What are you looking at?
What are you tapping your phone?
What are you writing now? What are you?
I missed that.
Yes, Jarrod.
So, Campus Pizza, we want to say a thank you to Campus Pizza because we're going to be getting food from them soon.
We hope.
I'm front load. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. I might be jinxing it. I'm front loading the thank you because I'm assuming that in ordering it, it will actually show up.
Yes.
When I called it in, they said it was going to be like an hour and 15 minutes for delivery.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
We're going to be up here for a while. That's good. We'll be up here anyways, right?
Well, yeah, we will be here. I will
far.
be hungrier than I am now when that comes through. But yeah, it'll be
The longer the wait, the bigger the plate.
be good. Yeah, basically that's how it goes. So spring weather.
I love it. A little windy out there today, but
I don't mind.
I don't care. I can deal with wind.
yeah, we don't have no snow mountains out there. We've been dealing with.
Yes. The lack of snow mountains is a good thing.
We did have that torrential rain this morning, though.
I heard it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, luckily that passed over.
Yeah.
All right, so what's going on now? What are we doing?
We're gonna get into. We're actually gonna get into the vinyl that you brought us. As usual, Mikey D's brought up an album. We're gonna play 2 tracks from it. One now and one when he comes back later on. This is from the Rolling Stones album. This is from.
It's only rock and roll.
Is the actual name of the album. I'm so used to playing the actual song. It's only rock and roll. That I couldn't remember that the album was actually called the same thing.
Which I think is Mick Taylor's last album he did with the Stones.
Yes.
Back in '74.
Yeah, and a couple of other good songs on this one, too, that we tend to play here and there is Ain't Too Proud to Beg, the cover of the Temptations, was it?
Yeah.
Yep. And Dance Little Sister, we played that one on occasion as well. But we've got If You Can't Rock Me, which is the track 1, side 1.
And second song coming up later on when Mikey D gets back. So
we're not going to tell you what it is. It's going to be a surprise.
Surprising.
So I'm going to shoot this one out to Joel up around the corner at that establishment where everybody hangs out quite often. And just want to give a shout out to Joel, the cooks, the wait staff, the bar staff, and those pesky money spenders up there that aren't spending too much money.
The establishment. That sounds very secretive.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
91.5
FM dial.
There you go. Saturday night soundtrack. Here's the Stones for you. Nirvana. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday night soundtrack. That one came off their MTV Live Unplugged. That was the video that got played on MTV all over the place. And after Kurt Cobain died, they just showed it all over the place because it came out.
Didn't they do a Bowie cover on that one?
They did.
Man Who Sold the World.
Yes, Man Who Sold the World. Yeah,
that's right.
And if you listen to the two together, the cover is pretty good, and it's pretty faithful to the original one.
Very.
And David Bowie's original version, they played it. They'll play it every once in a while on like ZLX on the weekends and things, and I'll hear it, and I'll hear him start to sing it, and I almost think it's that other one,
Yeah.
and then I'll realize that it's actually the original. It's like, oh, I don't really hear that.
You know
well.
the British recording of Lulu?
I'm sorry, I just cut you off.
The British female singer Lulu.
Yeah.
Yep, she did a version of it too.
Okay.
It actually got higher up in the charts than Bowie's own version.
Now, when did she do it in relation to Bowie's version?
It was in the 70s, so
Okay.
it probably wasn't that long after he did it.
Yeah. This is sort of like that thing we were researching before about like Nancy Sinatra and Terry Reid
Yes.
and Bang Bang My Baby Shut Me Down, which version came out when, and Cher did a version and Nancy Sinatra did a version and Terry Reid wrote it originally and he did a version and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the songs get kicked around here and there, and it just, different people have their different takes on it.
One interesting fact, Bowie was the first artist to actually make English lyrics to the song My Way.
Really?
It was a French song originally. He didn't write the My Way lyrics, but using the same song and putting English lyrics to it. Obviously, he didn't have any hits with it, but...
It was a good try.
Yeah, but he was the first one to use that particular melody to write English lyrics to. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's a... based on Kurt Cobain's documents and his some of his things that had not been released and diaries and whatnot, there's a documentary that's going to be coming out called... what's it called? It's coming out... It's actually going to be coming out pretty soon. I think it's in theaters in a couple of weeks on like April 10th, and then they're going to end up doing a version on HBO come May 4th. It's called Cobain Montage of Heck, and it's going to be in theaters April 10th and HBO on May 4th.
And of course, now you get a phone call.
Of course.
Which means I have to try and talk to myself.
Hold on, let's do this. Let's do this. Ready?
Sure.
WBIM? Jeez, that didn't work. Because now they've hung up.
Why did they hang up?
I don't know. I just picked up the phone and they had hung up.
Yeah.
I probably took too long to answer it.
Nate.
He's probably afraid because he realized, he was like, oh crap, they're going to put us on the air. Okay, here we go.
Back again.
Here we go. Let's get this. BIM.
Hello there.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
This is Greg.
This is Greg.
You sound like you're doing fantastic.
Oh, I'm having a nice evening.
You sound like you're having a very nice evening. How is your? You're all ready for? Are you doing family things on Easter? Or are you?
No. I'm
No.
working. I'm not a family man.
That's the audience we're going for.
Yeah, no. I was wondering if I could request a song, though.
That is what we're here for.
All right. I would like to hear Aqualung by Jethro Tull.
Yes, we would like to play Aqualung by Jethro Tull.
Very good song.
Wonderful.
Yeah, not a problem. We'll get that on the next block.
Greg Black.
All right. Thanks
the moon and back.
Yeah, Greg's having a great night.
We need to set him up with Mickey D. They'd make a good pair together, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll get that out for you, Greg. I think he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. He's off to the next whatever he's doing.
Whatever he's doing.
That's fantastic. You could be like Greg Black. You can get your requests on also.
Yep.
It's 7:37, and we're doing Classic Rock until 11 o'clock. So call us up, 508-531-1303, and follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack, and like us on Facebook. It's just Saturday Night Soundtrack. I think the next time that Greg Black or anybody calls us, I'm just going to ask them why they're not following us.
Yes.
I don't think the hints are working, so I think it's actually time to
direct.
I think it's time to get more direct with this, and it'll help everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My thank you to Campus Pizza still exists.
Even though we haven't had our food yet.
It doesn't matter because I know how great it's going to be when we finally get it.
Yeah.
I'm certainly hoping that they actually deliver it up here, and that one of us doesn't have to actually go downstairs and meet them.
I can move fast when I need to, when there's food involved.
Like, put me on, and I'll be there in 30 seconds. There was one time I can't remember where. I don't actually think it was Campus Pizza. I think it was someplace else we ordered from, and I don't know where Jarrod was going, but he wasn't meeting up with the guy, and he was trying to find him. And
God.
It was one of the first weeks that Jarrod was here, and admittedly, we didn't really have our stuff together.
Yep.
So we were just sort of trying to work out those details.
Yes.
Get out the kinks, as it were.
So regular delivery guy, he knows where he's at.
Just get that guy to do it. He knows what's going on. He knows what we want. So 508-531-1303. Let's get into a classic rock block so we can play Greg's song.
Yes.
After the Allman Brothers, which are coming up next. Saturday Night Soundtrack, BIM.
The Saturday Night Soundtrack with Robb Hicks is on 91.5 WBIM. Bridgewater's weekend all-request classic rock experience.
Steve Miller Band at 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack. Rockin' me. Robb Hicks. Steve Rimmer. That's what we're doing. We're rocking you.
Yeah.
It's 8:04. And thank you, once again, to Campus Pizza for providing us with the Tasties, because it's delicious.
And somebody who knows where we are.
Delicious. Yes, somebody who knows where we are is very important.
That helps.
So, so I was on my way down the hall to visit the little boys' room, and I saw him run, like, he was literally running down the hall towards us.
Nope.
And I was like, wow, that's, I feel great, because, that's a lot of, that's effort and everything like that. And he said, he was like, my boss told me that if I get back there by 8 o'clock, I don't have to do any chores like sweeping or anything like that. So he was in a bit of a rush. He was in a bit of a rush for that reason. But we still want to thank him because delicious, and they bring it up to us as quick as they can. Mm-hmm. And did I mention delicious?
And, of course, this is the first time I've tried this particular type of sandwich.
Yes, we got the, I think they should call it the Jarrod Special.
Yep.
Because this is the one that's steak and cheese. It's extra American cheese, and then they put some pepperoni in it.
Ugh, and the pepperoni makes all the difference.
It does. It's delicious. I originally thought it was gross when Jarrod first told me about it, and then he made me try it. And then I was like, I'm converted, sir. I am converted. So I want to thank you also, Steve, for not flipping out every time that light doesn't come on right away.
Why's that light not coming on? Hello.
I'm glad you've caught on to some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on around here, that it's okay. Yes. It's okay. There's no need to panic. There's no need to panic. It's fine.
Is it always red, though?
Is what?
These lights, are they always red? Significance?
Yeah, the light's always red. Mm-hmm. I don't think it really... I think it's just basically letting you know, like, hey, you're on.
Yep.
Don't do anything stupid.
Nope.
You're on.
No F-bombs.
No F-bombs.
Nope.
So here's something I wanted to tell you about. So my wife and I went out to dinner a couple of nights ago, and... waitstaff's going to go above and beyond to try to, make you comfortable with the establishment. They're going to make you like everything you're getting, everything that's going on, all that stuff. You always have they always have, they try to hire pretty hostesses and they hire pretty waitresses and stuff. And I think it's a double, I think it's a double standard. Like even at nice restaurants that you expect to see that, right?
Yes.
So we go out the other night and we went to a place in Plymouth and we got a male waiter who, I don't know. I wasn't too happy having this male waiter because, I mean,
Half the reason to go out is for the
I mean, if if I was gay, I would go for him.
Uh-huh.
And, he had the beard. It was all trimmed and, and he looked like he was in good shape and he had the hair gelled and his personality was just, the effervescent personality type.
Yep.
Like he was just, he was super friendly. Mm-hmm. He asked our names, shook our hands. He remembered us from apparently the last time that we were in there.
Oh, God.
And the last time we were in there, he was still the same as he was this time, but nowhere near, so it's, I kind of I was like, sort of like, can you just put blinders on my wife? I really don't want her seeing, you waiting on us. So I was like, oh, this guy is pretty, he's pretty into his job. He's pretty over the top about it. And as a joke, when we got home, I decided I was like, I'm going to look up the competition. I'm going to find out who this guy is. I'm going to Facebook him.
Oh.
So I got totally figuring that this would not, why would I think this would work? So he told us his first name, right?
Okay.
I know where he works. Mm-hmm. So I type in his first name and the name of the place we went to, and I think Massachusetts. I didn't even have to type the Massachusetts part, and he just came up.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, God. And my wife was like, did you just Facebook the waiter? I was like, no. Well, not for, what do you mean? In the meantime is like, I've got, like, his page up on my phone by this point, so, like, you can just see pictures of him.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, no, she's like, that's really creepy. Mm-hmm. I was like, no, because I didn't think it was going to work. And then it was like a War Games thing. Like, I thought that if I just so I just turned my phone off and, like, put it in the corner. Like, I didn't even want to.
Okay.
And she's like, do you think it's like, she's like, do you think he gets notifications from, like, other social media sites like My Life and stuff, like someone search for him? Mm-hmm. I was like, no, absolutely not. She's like, that could happen. I was like, stop telling me that. That could not happen. She's like, it maybe. And I was like, besides, even if that happens, I'm like, he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know my name. She's like, you told him your name at the restaurant.
Yeah, and you probably used your credit card.
I was like, that's exactly the next thing she said. Mm-hmm. She's like, you used your credit card with your last name on it. I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I didn't want to use my phone for like 5 days.
Oh, God.
It's like, why? I didn't want to. I just, I didn't think it was going to work.
What I find about
Let's see what the guy was like.
Facebook, when you've got like old girlfriends, it's easy for them to search for you because your last name is basically the same.
Well, yeah.
But try doing it the other way around because most of them have gotten married in the meantime.
Right.
And that's really hard to find. But I like the fact you can just use the first name in a place of work.
Yes.
So
yes, you can do that, apparently. I did not know that.
Nope.
And apparently now I know.
Yeah, didn't Facebook change a little bit last week? Didn't they do something?
I don't know if they did anything directly. I know that a lot of times what ends up happening is they'll do stuff. You mean like privacy settings or like formatting or
something? I used it one day and I'm like, this looks a little bit different. Or Google, it was one of the two.
It might be. It might be one of them because I know a lot of times like sometimes I won't even notice if they just change it on the regular site and not the app. But sometimes I will notice changes to the app too. And it's kind of like, why did they? And then I sort of sulk about it for a little while because I'm like, I don't like changing anything.
Nope.
I'm not a fan of change at all. And then I get, time goes by and I get over it.
Yeah.
Eventually. It just takes a little bit.
Yes.
So 508-531-1303. I hope Greg Black appreciated his request because not only did we play Jethro Tull's Aqualung, right after it we played Paranoid by Black Sabbath, and we know he loves Black Sabbath.
Exactly.
So hopefully that
wasn't War Pigs though.
It was not War Pigs. I think he's probably afraid to get. Maybe he wouldn't have even called tonight if he, had thought that Jarrod was here. Maybe he heard Jarrod wasn't here.
Yes.
After Jarrod's berating him over
We
War
should
Pigs
get many more calls then. Jarrod is not in the building.
It's like
the phone's going off the hook.
It's like a selling point.
Yeah.
Poor Jarrod. We miss Jarrod.
Yes, we do.
But we're still going on and enjoying eating subs.
Yes.
So let's see if they're going to say that they're calling because Jarrod's not here.
Alrighty.
BIM.
Hey, I heard Jarrod wasn't there.
Oh, wait, he just walked in.
Excellent.
What's going on?
Not much. I'm at work again.
Oh, great. That's
always fun.
This is Nate, right?
Yes.
Yes, this is Nate.
Okay, good. I'm getting better. Yeah. My voice recognition technology it's been updated over the spring break.
I see.
How's work going?
Terrible.
Why is it? What are people getting? Are they getting like last minute stupid stuff for Easter? Are they getting all sorts of dumb Easter candy and whatnot?
No, it's mainly just cigarettes and lottery. Which I hope isn't last minute Easter stuff.
I'm glad they get the priorities in line. What do you want to hear?
I am in the mood for some Pink Floyd, to be totally honest. Do you play I Wish You Were Here?
Yes, we can play Wish You Were Here.
Awesome.
I'm glad you were totally honest, though, because if you lied, we would have known.
Okay, I believe you.
Yeah. All right, we'll get that on the next block.
All right, I got a customer. I gotta get that.
All right, take it easy. Thanks, Nate.
See ya.
Right.
Excellent.
He's gonna get fired one of these days.
I know.
We're gonna end up getting the kid fired. So I guess we got some Pink Floyd coming up in the next block. And anything else?
Are we audible in his store, or is he?
No, because remember when we, which I actually,
I'm trying to think.
I actually thought it would be cool. But remember the time that we went in? He had he's got the radio behind the counter.
That's right.
And it's like back behind his ear. But they do play music in the store, but it's preloaded.
It's the generic
Muzak, whatever. It's not actually Muzak, but it's like whatever is programmed to play in the store at that time.
To make you buy more chips.
Remind me if Nate calls back later on in the evening that's actually a question I want to ask him. Okay. Is how I don't know how it works. I want to know how the music in the store works. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. I want all these behind the scenes juicy details.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So big classic rock block coming up. Give us your calls 508-531-1303. Saturday Night Soundtrack at 91.5 WBIM.
Saturday nights with Robb Hicks. He's like Wolfman Jack. Without the beard, money, or timeless popularity.
Coincidence? I think not.
Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack on 91.5 WBIM.
It's 91.5 WBIM. Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack of Pink Floyd. That one by request, of course, because that's what we do. We take requests from Nate. When Nate finally calls us and decides that he wants to make a request, there we get it on for him. That was Wish You Were Here, album of the same title. Robb Hicks here with you. Steve Rimmer taking the spelling test and doing horribly, apparently.
Horribly. 7 out of 18. God. I was never good at spelling.
Not good. Where was that test?
It was Buzz News or something
BuzzFeed?
Like BuzzFeed, yeah.
I'll have to take that in a bit and see how I do.
No, considering I read so much, I'm a horrible speller. It was one of those tests where they were like, is there 2 N's in this or just 1 N?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I think I saw maintenance was one of the words.
Yeah, and it was, whether it was an A or an E or an I. Yeah, it was one of those tough ones.
Those will trip you up.
Yep.
They'll trip you up.
They do.
Just finishing up a classic rock block there. Right before that, we heard we got a threefer of the Beatles. Threefer! Oh my God, you're gonna be kidding me! We heard Beatles at first, of course, with Day in the Life, and followed it up with Imagine by John Lennon. Got some Paul McCartney in there too, and kicked off the whole block with The Who. And
we need to do like a all 4 of the Beatles one day. You know, a McCartney track, a Ringo Starr track. Excuse me, Lennon, Harrison. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that we should definitely do. We should. They've got. That's one band. They've just got so much stuff on their own that it's kind of like there's no reason not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can go through. You could probably do a whole show of just Beatles. Mm-hmm. Either the band and then just the artist by themselves.
Yeah.
They just had so much stuff. So Nate called. We got to remember to tell Mikey D when he comes in. Because I have a feeling that he's going to do something horrible to Nate if he thinks he didn't call us.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll let him know.
I'm a little concerned about his welfare.
So did we already talk about the Who touring again?
We mentioned it. I mentioned it briefly last week. I think I was interrupted a couple of times.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know by who. But, yes, the Who. They got their big tour coming up. I'm sure it's already going, right? It's coming here in October, on October 29th.
That's right.
They're going to be at the TD Garden, but I'm sure the tour itself, the 50th anniversary tour, is already kind of in full swing. I just don't know where they are right now. But I mean, there's a classic example of, we were talking about earlier, the other bands that are going on tour, like the Rolling Stones. Like you said, they can just keep it going. Van Halen, we're not entirely sure if they can keep it going, but I guess we're going to see.
Yep.
But I mean, you get a band like The Who, and I mean, granted, I understand it's only 2 of the original members, but I mean, those two original members are still working hard.
Oh, yeah.
To pull together, a tour that's basically, if they're already touring at this point, you're talking about a tour that's lasting most of the year.
Exactly.
50 years after they, after they became famous and got together, and that's quite the feat. I don't know of a lot of current bands that could probably do that.
Do you know, have you ever heard the story where the breaking the guitar piece came from with Townsend?
I've heard a couple of conflicting stories. So what?
The one I always heard was that they were playing in some small club when they were just starting off, and the stage was not huge, but the ceiling was very low, and because of the style of how you held your guitar in those days, Townsend would keep smashing it into the ceiling, and in the end he just got so pissed with it he picked it up and smashed the guitar. So.
That's great.
And Hendrix got it from him. It wasn't the other way around. And
then Hendrix just started lighting his guitar on fire.
Yes.
And then it was basically just a kind of just a competition who could destroy their instruments.
Mooney, I think, won that competition.
I think didn't I hear some ridiculous, they keep track of the weirdest things. There was some anniversary that just went by within the past week or two that was the anniversary of the first time Jimi Hendrix ever burned his guitar on stage.
Oh,
yeah, I don't remember what anniversary, and they said it was not, they said the most famous one was the Monterey
Pop,
but they said that this would actually happen before that. It was not as famous, but it was the first time that he actually tried it and did it. And
because Monterey, that was, I think, the Who, probably one of the best smash-up sets that I've ever seen was the Monterey Pop Festival.
Yeah, Monterey Pop Festival was
excellent.
Yeah, and it gets, I think a lot of times, people think about the festivals that have gone by, and I think that one gets outshined by Woodstock a bit, but it shouldn't, because it was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. That iconic shot of Joplin on stage and Mama Cass in the audience just saying, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that was classic.
Yeah,
classic.
That was good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff. 508-531-1303. Request your good stuff. Let us know what you want to hear. And, if you're gearing up for Easter, if you're buying cigarettes and lottery tickets.
You want to give scoops.
Or pooper scoops, which are apparently popular.
Very popular today.
I didn't realize it was such a big thing, but apparently so. So give us a call, 508-531-1303. You can like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack. Just search for that. And you can search for us on Twitter, too, and follow us there, at SN Soundtrack. It's easy enough. We only have 10 followers. Please follow us.
Yes,
basically all I have to say.
Please.
I'm going to write a big note to myself so that the next time that any of those guys, basically the two people who call us, either one of them call us back again. I'm just going to ask them when they call, what's the deal? How come it's not? Why hasn't it come to fruition? Why don't you like us?
Mm-hmm.
What's happening? What's the problem? I don't get it.
Weird sort of echo going on here.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
You usually have another body in there to absorb the sound, and you don't have that. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. We had a treat coming up because it's a vinyl that it's another 45 that Steve brought in, but it's not it's a 45 that Steve brought in. And when I asked him if this was a good one that we should play next, he said, "I don't know. I've never played it." I was like, "Okay."
It was actually
that's encouraging.
No, it's only because you've got good turntables. I'm letting you play it here because it's a very expensive 45. It's very rare. It was a parting gift from my best buddy back in England when I moved away. It was his favourite disc in his collection, and he gave it to me as a goodbye gift. So for that reason, I've never played it, because I didn't think I've never had equipment that would do it justice, I don't believe. But
do you know how concerned I am now?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Really concerned. The name of the song is called "Happy the Man." It comes from 1972. When I was listening to it, I swore it came from 64 or something. It has that earlier kind of almost British invasion sound, and it's very early Genesis. Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins are in the band at this point, but it doesn't sound anything like the stuff they would be doing 10 years after.
Not at all.
So give it a listen here. Happy the Man, 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. It's a Saturday Night Soundtrack. If you don't want to call us up, 508-531-1303. Get a request on. If you want to hear something that's kind of old and, sort of forgotten, call us for that. Ask us for that, too. Because Steve's probably got... Are there any other... run through us real quick before I play this. The list of... Are there any other songs in here that you think that we should try to give a play to this evening? I know I picked up a couple, and you were sort of like, yeah, that's great. Don't play that. I just brought that to show... Please don't play that.
I don't know. There's a live UFO track there. There's a live version of Black Knight by Deep Purple, which might be worth hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like Deep Purple.
Yep, me too.
And I like UFO, too. So let's pencil those in for within the next couple of hours. You're going to hear each one.
Alrighty. If they play.
That's how it's happening.
If they play. You got to be careful with the old 45s.
Pretty important.
Yeah.
Happy the Man, Genesis, 91.5 WBIM. It's Metallica, 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater Saturday Night Soundtrack, covering, of course, the classic live Seeger track. Bob Seger made that one famous off of Live Bullet, and Metallica took it over. They covered it. That was one of those songs that they covered for their Garage Inc. album, which was actually Greatest Hits, but they threw in a couple of new singles, and that was one of them. So there you go. Metallica's take on Turn the Page. Rob Hicks here with you. Steve Rimmer, it's coming up on 9:04.
2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours to go.
Yep, 2 hours to go. Are you counting it down?
No.
Or are you enjoying yourself?
I'm enjoying myself.
Okay. I'm just making sure. You're like, 2 hours. 2 hours to go. Oh, Jesus. How do you feel about potentially Mark Wahlberg making a...
I was very surprised about that.
Okay, so...
Especially after, 2 weeks ago, Dennis Lehane turned down a very similar project. Maybe it's the same one.
Yeah.
Because he himself felt it was just too close.
Right. Not only is it too close, but did I hear... So anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, by the way, is Mark Wahlberg is going to be doing, or at least at this point is attached to do, I don't know how far into production or contracts anything is, but he's attached to do a film about the Boston Marathon bombings.
Patriots Day.
Patriots Day, which is very Michael Bay sounding. Mm-hmm. And I don't know who's directing it. Do we even know?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
No.
We don't know who's directing it. I don't know who's written it. I don't know what's going on, but apparently he was attached to... And my understanding is, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, that he was attached to star as Ed Davis.
I think so, yes. Yeah, the police... Yep.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I know.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
He's not fat enough.
He's not anything enough. He doesn't look anything like him.
Nothing at all. No.
Find someone who looks like him.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
John Goodman.
John Goodman could do it. John Goodman is being, he's pretty much all over the place. You're making a movie. Mm-hmm. John Goodman's like, I'll be in that.
Oh, yeah.
But he picks his parts very well, too. He's been in a lot of good movies within a short period of time. But he would probably be anybody would be more fitting than Mark Wahlberg, I think. Yeah, is kind of the actual point.
It's just too close.
It's extremely too close. The trial is still going on. Mm-hmm. So that's the definition of too close. Mm-hmm. And especially if I don't know what type of movie they're going to make out of it. I don't know if it's. It sounds to me like it's going to be like a drama / actioner.
When you think about what type could they make, I mean, there's the initial couple of days with the bombers, but after that, it can only be about people recovering.
Right.
Or people leading up to the marathon.
Yeah.
And that's really not specific.
Right. I mean, what I understood from what I read was that it was going to be about it's going to obviously start on the Marathon Monday, and then it was going to basically go through that week. It was going to it was going to start with the marathon bombing, and then it was going to be about the manhunt for the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, too close.
On paper, it's really too close. Maybe they'll make something respectable out of it. I don't know, but the stuff I've read about it so far does not sound promising.
No.
Like Mark Wahlberg starring as Ed Davis. Like, okay, this is about as Hollywood as you can get now. Mm-hmm. It might be time to rethink this.
Yes.
Just a little bit. 508-531-1303. Call us up, make requests, like us on Facebook. It's Saturday Night Soundtrack, and you can follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack. Easy. That's all you got to do. Mikey D, I'm sure will be coming back in at some point. I was expecting him to be back in now, probably.
Yeah, he's usually in around about 9 o'clock.
Usually comes in around now, but he'll be as soon as we get off the air. Then he'll come in, and yeah, we're trucking through without Jarrod. If any of you are just tuning in, it's like, why am I only hearing two guys? Jarrod's not with us tonight.
No sound effects tonight.
No sound effects. Rob is completing thoughts.
We haven't
left and right.
We haven't had a single Richard all night.
No, we have not.
No Richards.
But that's good, because it'll give me time to cut together my soundtrack for Richards for next week.
Exactly.
That I'm hoping he appreciates. And if he doesn't, I'm just using it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically it. Give us calls. Make requests. Make our lives easier. Mm-hmm. Tell us what you want to hear. Also tell us if it's doing anything stupid out there. I don't think it was supposed to rain or anything tonight.
Better not. I want to get to the car dry for once.
I want to get to the car. I want to just be able to get in my vehicle and drive away without any rushing, without any scraping, without any ridiculousness. I don't want
silly.
Don't want ridiculousness.
Nope.
So call us up 508-531-1303. Got another big classic rock block coming up. Going to kick it off with a song that, unlike a lot of classic rock tracks, it is a song that it has a certain title, but doesn't come from the album of the same title. You'll get what I mean next.
Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack with Robb Hicks is all requests. Call 508-531-1303. The classic is our part. What we rock is up to you.
Kinks at 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater Saturday Night Soundtrack. That was off the album Give the People What They Want. What they want is Mikey D and Steve Rimmer across from here.
Yes, it is.
Hello, good friends. We're back.
How's everyone?
We're back with a vengeance.
I hope there's no vengeance going
Everyone.
on.
You mean all three of us?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I mean.
And whoever's listening out there in radio world.
Exactly, which we know of at least two. Or at least at some point during the evening, there's been two.
Oh, hey.
I don't know if there's still two. I can't.
Found out last few weeks now we're having listeners up at a place called some trackside spaghetti barn up the road called Johnny Macaroni's. You have to give them a shout out because they listen to us they're loyal listeners every Saturday night.
So now let me ask you this: are they playing us so that we can be heard throughout the establishment, or are we back being played in the kitchen or something?
I don't know if they have us out during.
I'm just wondering. I just want
eating etiquette.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to know.
It's the staff out in the kitchen area, the wait staff.
You describe
the cooks, the waiters, the waitresses, the owners, the fry cooks, the burger flippers, the hot dog smackers, and everybody else that's involved.
You described it as a trackside spaghetti bar. I didn't know what kind of etiquette was involved that we could be played.
They called it a trackside spaghetti barn.
Oh, okay.
You take the B-A-R at the end to the end of it. And, of course, a shout-out to Mikey D's chick. And her name just happens to be, well, it really doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't matter. That's great. There's the Mikey D etiquette for you right there.
Oh, yeah, of course. So, the rest of the night, we might as well just dedicate every song that comes on, dedicated to the Johnny Macaroni staff.
Okay, fine. So we've heard the Kinks, Blue Oyster Cult, Steve Miller Band, Tom Petty, and Led Zeppelin within the past block. Those are all dedicated to them. How's that?
Oh, sounds good.
All right, we'll do it that way.
Rockets from way back.
Yeah. We also heard some rare vinyl that Steve brought in. We're going to hear some vinyl from you next. And we heard some live Deep Purple that I think probably would have been up your alley, too.
Black Knight live.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. On purple vinyl.
Hey.
Oh, it was purple vinyl, all right.
One of my idols there, Richie Blackmore.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, there you go.
Goes without saying.
Yeah. And pretty good track. And
I was just researching it because they're coming to, where was it, Lynn?
Lynn Auditorium, yeah.
Auditorium this year. And it's all kind of original members, even though Ian Gillan pulled out of the talk the last moment and Coverdale's taken over.
Oh, back to his 70s days.
Yeah, and they have Don Airy on keyboards because John Lord has passed away, obviously.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
But Glover on bass, Pace on drums, as before.
Okay.
Steve Morse on guitar.
Who came from the Dixie Dregs
Absolutely.
many years ago.
Yep.
And he's been with Deep Purple for a number of years.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
So it's quite
Since the
the lineup,
90s.
Mr. Rockets.
Yep.
So, Steve, you going to go?
You know what? I might look into it because that's like I say, they disbanded at the Liverpool Empire, which is the theatre I used to go and see all the bands.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was about a month before I started my, what would you call it? My vestiges into seeing live groups. And I just missed...
You missed it by exactly a month?
By about a month, yeah.
That's sad. Speaking of going to concerts, and this was something I wanted to ask you, Steve, and it's probably good that I thought of it now because I'll ask you, Mikey D, too. How do you guys feel about tribute bands?
As far as going to your local rock clubs and...
Yeah, not even local rock clubs. I'm talking, there are some pretty high-profile tribute bands out there. Like, for the first one that jumps to mind is I know Brit Floyd is playing at the Lynn Auditorium. They got a show coming up. I forget when. It's within the next couple of months or so. And there's another one.
Isn't there an Australian Floyd band that's really quite good as well?
I think there is, yeah. Brit Floyd's the one I always hear about. I know there's another one, and there's a band called Get the Lead Out, which is a Led Zeppelin tribute band that I know plays locally quite often as well.
I've heard of them some years ago, but I haven't had the opportunity to see them. I don't know if they play local or wherever.
Right. And I think to me, the question is just, would that be worth it? See, because to me, I feel like that's, as good as they are, it's someone else playing the music.
Here's where I'll jump in on that.
I
think it's a...
Jesus.
I think
Anytime.
Hey, Rob, Steve-O. Mikey D's opinion is, I think it's a compliment to the original band, saying, "Hey, you guys are one of the greatest or the greatest. We're gonna imitate you."
Which I get.
That's how I take it.
And that's fine. But do I want to see that?
See, if I got to think of somebody that I really like seeing live.
Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Like if I saw Zappa play live several times, and I went to see Frank Zappa play. I don't know that I'd get the same kick out of seeing somebody else doing his material.
Correct. Yeah.
So
that's the only thing. And the thing about Brit Floyd is that I see I hear the commercials and they talk about how now they've got a new show that's spanning everything from their first original debut album all the way through Endless River, and there's a quote unquote spectacular light show.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't that sounds like that's detracting from, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to hear the music, and I want to hear it played, and preferably by the original band.
Yeah.
Although you want to see the original band.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I get in many cases that that's not possible, or it's not going to be realistic, or, they're never going to come around here. But then at that point, do I just say, well, I never saw them. I will leave it at that. Mm-hmm. Or do I go see this tribute band and say, better than nothing. I've always been on the fence about it, but I just can't get. I don't know. I can't get the feeling. I feel like I'm seeing a glorified house band. Is basically what it is.
Time, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Another good band that had a really good live show was Tangerine Dream, and I remember seeing them years ago, and it was all lasers and smoke.
What's the cover? What's the cover?
No, Tangerine Dream.
Was it their own band?
That was the name of the group.
Oh, I thought they were like a cover band or something.
If it was a cover band, you wouldn't have known it, because all you saw when you saw Tangerine Dream was three guys' backs as they were facing their huge synthesizers. So I wouldn't have known if they were the actual members or not. So.
Unless they were that ugly, they couldn't show their face to the audience.
That's always a possibility.
Yeah, it is.
So, how's your night going, Mikey D? I feel like it's
very steady.
I feel like it's full. I feel like it's full for you.
Oh, it is. It is.
So we got your tune on deck. So we're gonna play that. And
tell them last time what it was.
What's that?
You said last time you wouldn't tell them what it was. You're gonna clue them in as soon as we start.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I did say that. Give me a second.
I know what it is.
Time waits for no one.
From It's Only Rock and Roll.
Yeah, from the Rolling Stones.
All right.
All right.
We're off and running. Keep on listening to our new listeners out there. Hopefully, every week we get more and more new listeners.
Yeah, and new followers, too.
From all the other roadside beaneries that are out there. All right.
Trackside Barns.
FM dial. Keep on listening, or if you're not, then they're ready, preparing you for burial. Bye.
I think that's all that needs to be said.
Yep, that covers it.
Classic Rock till 9 o'clock. Call us up, 508-531-1303. Jimi Hendrix is on 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday night soundtrack, all along the Watchtower. Guess who that was for? That was for Nate. Nate wanted to hear us.
Written by who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nate's listening?
Nate is listening, and he's called us twice.
Good.
So that's good. In that last call, when he requested that song, as a matter of fact, the first thing he said when I first picked up the phone was, thank you, first of all, for playing Abracadabra earlier. That will be stuck in my head all week. I said that's the least we could do. And then he wanted to hear it all along the Watchtower. Now, I asked him the important question, which was, now, which version do you want to hear? He said, I didn't know there was more than one. Glad that Jarrod's not here this week because he would have a nutty
yes,
if he heard that, because he'd be like, no, it's a cover of... Yeah. So I explained to him that there is a Dylan version that, in my opinion, is not nearly as good, and then there's the Jimi Hendrix version that just rocks. Mm-hmm. And he said, I will go with the latter.
Okay.
What was that? Oh. So
it's Mickey D.
Mikey D's ringing. Just take your call. It's fine. Not a problem.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
508-531-1303. You can get your calls in. We're doing Classic Rock until 11 o'clock, so we still got time to get a couple of requests in. And, help you...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, help you lead... Steve's like, what are you talking about? Help you lead into your Easter in the right way. And it's kind of difficult to think about the fact that we've only got probably about a month left of this show.
I know. That's the sad thing.
But hopefully we will be able to be back in the fall semester and, rejoin everything.
Here he goes again.
Bad cutoff.
He got cut off, so he didn't stay in the hallway and wait to see if they were going to call back.
No,
he just came and sat back down.
Yeah.
So the exact same thing would happen again.
It's not his work phone, because that's there.
Great. I can hear him in the hall.
So I'm going to be, the time that we're gone, I'm going to be researching some more obscure stuff and seeing if I can order it in half.com.
Oh, good.
It's a good excuse for the wife as to why I need to buy more music.
Oh, don't go broke, sir. I also don't want your wife, messaging me or something and being like, listen,
Yes.
it's your fault
Yes.
that I'm getting all these packages coming to the house.
Yeah, but you can't
Stop it.
You can't
Please
get
just
broke
stop it.
going to half.com because
Yeah, you can. I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a way. I could probably find a way.
Yeah.
If I look around on there long enough.
No, I know.
Yeah. Here's something I wanted to ask you about, too. So we talked about this a little bit off the air, but we'll mention it now. Two movies that I think everyone should grab and see if they get the opportunity. Now they're available on DVD, Blu-ray as of March 30th.
On the same day.
Yeah, March 31st. There's two movies. All you need to do is go to the I section
Yes.
of your video store, and you're going to be looking for either The Imitation Game or Interstellar. Now, the Interstellar I had already seen in the theater. I saw it with Jarrod. We went to the Jordan's IMAX up in Reading and saw it there, which is the best way to see it. And I was dying to just get it in my house and in my hands to see it again, and watched it again last night. Phenomenal.
It is in my house right now, but it was a gift for somebody else in my house. So eventually I'll go and borrow it from him and watch it myself.
Yeah, that would drive me insane.
Yeah.
And then the other one, like I said, with The Imitation Game, a lot of people don't know the story of John Turing and everything that was involved with what he did during the Second World War for breaking the Nazi codes with his machine that ultimately kind of, was the missing link between nothing and then having the computers that we have nowadays. And I watched that movie last night. That was just, that thing was phenomenal.
Yeah.
What movie is this, Rob? As you know, I was out for a couple of minutes.
The Imitation Game?
World War II?
Yeah, by Alan Turing.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Never heard about it, but anything to do with World War II, I'm going to be watching it.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's a sad movie, but it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's if you don't know anything about his life at all, it actually goes in some directions you don't expect it to go in. But it's well worth your time.
Yep.
Definitely worth your time.
Definitely.
And Interstellar was the other one that I mentioned. Two I movies that both came out within the past week that I think you should check out. Get the opportunity.
Yep.
Interstellar, I can just picture that's like now that that's on home. Well, I'm going to say home video, which there's no such thing. Now that it's available for home viewing entertainment, I could see that as the kind of movie you could just sit down on like a Saturday morning and watch, and the scope of everything that happens in that thing is just incredible.
Based on a true story?
Interstellar is most definitely not.
No, not at all. It's time travel.
Yeah. It's time travel and space travel and wormholes and
time to travel.
The theory of relativity and all sorts of junk.
Yep. Imitation Game, on the other hand, is based on the true story.
And I don't know, and again, kind of like I was saying before, I don't know specifically how close to the true story it came because I didn't really know anything about him before seeing the movie.
I like the way they started it with the cops investigating him because that actually happened, obviously.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It was a good, and it was a good bookend to the whole story that was going on and how he just kept saying, "Pay attention."
And it took the British government until I think last year to pardon him.
Yes.
The Queen actually pardoned him.
Yes, she did. Yeah. Extremely, extremely posthumously. So, So anyway, check those out if you get the opportunity. And any more phone calls, or you good?
No, more shout-outs?
No, I said any more phone calls?
No. Nate for a third time, maybe.
It could happen.
It could happen.
We still got plenty of time left in the show.
Yeah. Well, we got an hour. We got 50 minutes. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, we had a guy call us at 10 to 11 one night.
Yeah.
Call. What do you want to hear this time around for the third time?
That guy was great. I wish that guy would call back again, too.
Yeah. Yes, we liked him.
It was kind of a good cap off to the show. So 508-531-1303. We're going to get back into the music in a little bit. And anything else you want to hear, just give us a call. Let us know what it is.
I want to hear some Foghat. I'm in the mood for Foghat right now.
You know what? I think we could actually do some Foghat.
Sounds like a plan.
Do you want to hear Fool for the City?
Oh, yeah, because we're all fools up here.
Pretty sure we can do that, too.
All right.
Foghat's coming up. 91.5 WBIM.
We're hitting the books. We'll make your night rock with Robb Hicks and Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack on 91.5 WBIM.
91.5 WBIM Bridgewater Saturday Night Soundtrack. Robb Hicks here with you. Steve Rimmer. Hello. I keep wanting to say Jarrod Barbetta, but no. There's an empty chair next to you. But not for long, because he'll be back next week.
Yes.
And we will be glad to have his presence back. I am I'm just looking forward to playing certain audio clips that I'm thinking of preparing
So am I.
for next week.
Oh, I forgot that CD. I was going to bring it back in this week, the MGM one.
Oh, yeah.
I'll bring it next week. You can
bring it next week.
Take
I'll
it
take a
home and
listen at
you
it.
can see if you can use some of it.
Yeah, because I want to take a listen to that.
Right.
So when I go home, here's a normal routine that's going to happen. I don't know what happens for you, Steve, when you go home, okay? So as you know, we have dogs and cats.
Yes.
So I'll go home. It'll, most of the house will be dark because my wife will probably already be asleep, or she will have, fallen asleep and then woken back up, and whatever the case is. There'll be 2 dogs in our room. There'll be cats in our room.
Mm-hmm.
And,
how many cats do you have?
So we got 6.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got 6 cats and
two
there's
dogs.
2 dogs.
Okay.
The dogs are small, which is worth mentioning, but they're still dogs, no matter what. One of the dogs, and I don't know if this is something you've ever encountered, for whatever reason, it is almost impossible. And the same thing happens every night. It doesn't matter if it's tonight when I go home. It doesn't matter if it's during the week, if it's a Wednesday, whatever the case is. The dog will be fine for most of the time. Mm-hmm. And then when one of the cats, it's one particular cat, walks in the room, she will just go insane and start attempting to hump him on numerous occasions. She will just her eyes light up. You can tell. He comes walking in the room and she's just looking at him like a guy just watched, like someone just watched someone walk in with yoga pants. She's just like, and then the cat walks up. And then she first she starts to hump the cat it's a female dog, by the way, and it's a male cat.
That's kind of strange.
It is. So the cat will get on the bed and she will first start humping the cat on my wife. My wife will be like, stop. And she'll physically remove. The cat will go over onto my pillow. Dog will proceed to hump on my pillow. Then I say, stop. Don't hump on my pillow. And then my wife says, what do you mean don't hump on your pillow? Don't hump at all. So then I say, just go to the end of the bed. He tries to walk to the end of the bed, and she starts humping him again.
Oh, God.
This just happens every night. And then eventually they settle down, and they both go to sleep at different points. But there is not a night that goes by that if that cat walks in the room, she is not going to hump him.
Oh, wow.
And she's serious about it. Because if she starts going and he walks away or we remove her, sometimes her hips are still going, she's just by herself, and she's just the hips. And it's disturbing to look at.
I bet.
And it's, I don't know.
The worst my cats ever do to each other is trying to fight each other, but it's always in play.
All cats will do that.
Exactly.
And then, our cats will, one will startle the other, and then there'll just be a slapping fight, and then they both run away, and that's not a big deal. And I just don't get what and at the same time, this is also the dog that will eat the other dog's poop and her own poop.
We sell stuff to stop that from happening.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No.
We tried
you told me that last week.
Yeah, we tried to give it to her and failed. Failed miserably.
Well, at least now the snow's going, you can pick it up and move it. At least.
Yeah, it's just disturbing.
Yeah, there is a dog at our house, but it's not us. It's the other family that has it.
Okay.
And during the snow, when they come, you cut the little paths to and from your doors, that's exactly where the dog decides to poop. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to try and climb onto the 4-foot-high snowbank to do it. But
no, obviously not.
Thank you. And of course, now my wife's taken to feeding the squirrels and the birds because it's tough for them at this time of year.
Right.
But then we have an outdoor cat that likes to kill squirrels and birds. So it's kind of nasty. You put the food out there, and then you put William out there, and we see what happens.
That can be a problem.
Yes.
That can be a bit of an issue.
And he's good at it.
He is a world-class squirrel killer.
He's a good killer.
I'll tell that to whatever squirrel was profiled on the comment or whatever that was.
Yeah.
What was going on with that? I forget what it's on the floor over there. I can't read it.
No, I don't know. It was
that story you showed me.
Facebook squirrel? I don't know.
Something going on.
Silly.
Humans of something.
Yeah.
And there was a Facebook squirrel. I'm at the point now where, I'm glad that we're on for 6 hours, but I'm now sleepy. I get to the point where I just get sleepy.
Well, what time do you get up in the morning on a Saturday?
Well, normally I get up. See, here's the thing is that I'm all off because my wife went to help someone move last night and was out for a while, and I didn't really get to sleep until maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock. Yeah. So I woke up this morning at 8 and was up for a little bit, but then I fell back to sleep and then didn't get up again until 10:45 or 11.
Yeah,
so now I'm off.
I worked from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Which meant getting up at 5 a.m.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
But I will go home and I'll get a second wind on the way home.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, and also, I mean, I get up during the week. I'll get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be able to stay awake long after my wife would theoretically be able to stay awake.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it doesn't really bother me as far as that goes. It throws me off when my schedule's off.
Yeah.
Also didn't have coffee today.
Oh, I did.
And that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Now, I say that I'm a coffee drinker, but I'm not really. I mean, I am, but I like my coffee with a lot of flavor in it. Like, I want, not necessarily like the syrups, because I don't really like the syrups necessarily, but although I will get the swirls from Dunkin' Donuts because it hides how bad Dunkin' Donuts coffee is. So if you just put a swirl in it, I'm like, that's okay. That's a little better. But, like, I like the Mary Lou's coffee that's just brewed as a flavor.
Nate could tell you about that.
Yeah, he could.
He's right next door to them.
He could. I am a fan of the Mary Lou's coffee.
Yeah.
And, but if you give me a regular coffee that just doesn't have any kind of flavor in it and tastes like coffee, I'm not really going to like it.
No.
So that means I'm not really a coffee drinker, but I want the caffeine and I like the flavor and it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And, I'll only drink iced coffee. And they will, I find it funny because I like sugar in my coffee and my wife does not. And I will get like, when I say sugar, I mean like I want to see I want it to look like it snowed at the bottom of my cup. And with the iced coffee cups, you can usually tell because you can see it.
Yes.
And yet they always feel it necessary as they hand me the cup to say, this is the one with the sugar. So I know.
I can see it.
If you didn't give me that, there would be a problem. And then I tend to get skim milk. My favorite is when they give you coffee that's white. And I'm like, that should have been skim milk. And they say, that is skim milk. No, it's not. That's cream.
Yeah.
Or whole milk at worst. But it's still one of the two, which is not what I know. You had one job.
See, I don't give anybody the chance to screw up my coffee. I only make it myself.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And I only drink before I leave the house and never drink again.
Really?
Or never drink coffee for the rest of the day. No, 3 cups.
You just front load it.
Yep, 3 cups in the morning and that's enough for me.
3 cups.
Yes.
Like big cups? Is it a
Actually,
huge mug?
Yeah, it's a big mug actually. But I have two before I leave the house and I take one with me.
Well, of course, now we know you're getting up at 5.
Yes,
so
exactly.
you need it if necessary.
Exactly.
Maybe I should drink some coffee before coming in here.
Yeah.
At 5 o'clock.
Actually, I've done that when I've been particularly tired before setting off. If there's any cold coffee left in the mug, I'll make an iced coffee out of that.
Yeah.
I didn't do that today. I should have done.
Well, next week. There's always next week.
There's always next week.
Plus, we got Jarrod coming back next week, so he's gonna help carry us through.
Exactly.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering what the situation's gonna be as far as I'm just curious.
I don't know.
I don't really care.
I know. I was worried when I went to the bathroom a minute ago. I'd just go around that corner and, ooh, holy crap.
Yeah. Oh, are you done? No, I'm not done. With what? I mean, no, I'm not done. I'm going back.
No.
We've got 20 minutes. I'm going back. I'm sure Mikey D is glad that your trip was brief.
Yes.
This time.
Yes. It looks pretty clean in there still.
I mean, we had subs, sir, so...
I know. I'm just doing it out of respect to Mikey D.
That's good. He's got enough issues.
Yep, he doesn't need us messing it up.
So, so I was thinking about it, and next week's the 11th.
Yep.
So I would say, if I were to guess, I'd say we probably have a month's worth of shows starting with next week.
Okay.
Give or take, approximate.
Yeah.
If we get an extra one out of it, that's fantastic. But I would aim for planning that we probably got roughly about a month left.
Okay.
Goes by quick.
It does.
Semester's gone by so quick.
I know.
It started with the...
kids aren't in college long enough.
I know, right?
No.
I think they should be prepared for the real world by going to college year-round.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's how the real world works.
Yes.
You have to be here all the time. You don't get the benefit.
No, and they put in for time off if you need it.
Right. Exactly. That's how it goes.
Exactly.
We started the semester...
I'm sorry, I just forgot about this.
Yeah.
But what happened to the blue laws? I thought Easter used to be one of those days that the stores had to stay closed, one of the 2 that we had left, and now they're open.
Which stores are open tomorrow?
PetSmart is. Everybody, basically.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Walgreens is. CVS is. I think once one goes, they all do.
Because I remember when we were working at Target was always closed.
Yep. It was always one of the 2 that was sacred. And then no more. No, once I saw that they were opening on Easter, I put in for it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I actually thought that a lot of places
Who
were
needs
still
to go and
closed
buy dog food on Easter?
I mean, no, nobody.
No,
Nobody.
just rush in the day before,
Right. You can come up with some sort of creative. Trust me, I do it all the time because I'm a horrible parent. I let my dog hump my cat on a regular basis because I don't want to deal with it. But if that's any indication of my parenting skills.
Okay.
But like we always around our house have some sort of backup food. Like we have this like canned wet food in the pantry that we hardly ever give to them because it's too expensive to give. But on in an emergency basis,
if we run out,
for one day, I think you can manage.
We have canned tuna.
Right.
Or using our cats if need be.
Yeah. There's no need to.
No.
Yeah. There's no need to. There are certain days that you should just be able to still have.
Yeah. Definitely.
And I mean, I think at this point, and I go through this every year because every year I forget which case it is, but I think Thanksgiving you still can't open in Massachusetts.
The last time I worked at Target, you weren't allowed to go into the building prior to midnight.
Okay.
So we always had to plan on getting there 5 minutes past just to make sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it is still, but I think it is still basically the same from what I recall from this past year's Black Friday.
Yeah.
And, because there's always, there's always news stories about it. They're always going to talk about it and what the laws are and what's going on with everyone. And
I didn't miss that this year, by the way.
I'm sure you did not. I haven't missed it in about 3 years.
Yeah.
And I will continue to not miss it for the next however many years I'm not there.
Me too.
We are going to see you next week. It has been a pleasure, sir.
And you, sir.
We will be back. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater Saturday Night Soundtrack. Going to leave you with the Pretenders. Bye.